Welcome everyone. So we are going to discuss one more interesting video on Postgres database select operation. In previous session, we looked at how we are going to insert the data into Postgres database. In this video, we are going to look at how we are going to select the data from the database. So a quick recap of our previous session is if you want to interact with any database, you need to install the respective modules using pip. So for Postgres, we have to install these two modules. Okay, so okay. So types as well as the psychopg2 binary. So these are the two libraries which we are interested in. And if you want to perform any database operation in Python, so these are the four standard steps. First thing, you have to open the connection with a database. And second thing, you have to get the cursor. Third thing, you are going to run your query. It can be DML or DDL, I mean data definition language or data manipulation query that you can run with the help of cursor. And then you are going to commit your changes. If when you commit the change, then only your changes will be taken place. It means, suppose example, if you insert or if you want to update or if you want to delete, if you do a commit, then the changes will be permanent. Otherwise, it is going to be logical C. So in today's session, we are going to look at how we are going to select the data or retrieve the data from the database. Okay, so let's jump on to the Python. So this is the previous example what we have done yesterday. So I am going to create one more Python file here. So I'm just giving the name as select demo. So the steps are pretty much same. You can import psychopg2. Okay, the name is a little weird, but you have to tolerate for some time. So you can open a connection. Psychopg2 dot connect. So you can give the host. So these are again standard. If you look at the previous video, you will able to know these values host and what is the database that you want to connect. So that is Postgres. You can make the user. Okay. So the same code which we have written in our earlier demo also. So now we are going to get the cursor. How we are going to get the cursor? With the help of connection. Connection dot cursor. And so cursor, if you want to execute with the help of cursor only, you can execute the SQL queries. Okay. So cursor is expecting cursor dot execute. So execute method is expecting typically a query and followed by variable. Suppose example, if you want to pass any additional variables, like example, in a where condition, if you want to supply value, or while inserting, if you want to take the user input, then those values going to be part of your var section. Okay. So now I'm going to directly write the query here. Select star from our table name employee. Okay. So then we can use this method called. So for selecting the data from a database, your Python is offering multiple methods. Okay. So if you use this fetch, we have fetch all method, fetch one method, and fetch many method. Okay. So typically, if you want to read all the records from the database, you can use the fetch all. Okay. And if you want to read only first record of the result set, I mean, suppose example, if your database has 100 records, and out of the 100 records, if you want the first record, then you can go for the fetch one. By default, it is get the first record from the result set. And fetch many is basically taking a parameter called size. So it means, suppose example, if you have 100 records in your database, if you want to get the first 10 records from the result set, then you can use fetchmany. So for now, I'm going to use the fetch all. Okay. So fetch all method is returning all the records in a tuple, right? So what is a tuple? You know already, tuple is basically an array representation or a group of elements representation. So this is one of the data type. So you can look at what are the various data types available in Python. So your fetch all method is written a tuple. Okay. So for time being, I'm going to store this information or the whatever the information which is written or the records written by this fetch all method, I'm storing inside the result. Now go back and look at what are the information which is there in the result. Okay. So I'm going to print the result. So simple. You really need not to spend good amount of time. It is pretty 4 or 5, maximum 10 lines we are written to get the data. I mean, even this also has some white spaces, right? If you remove all the white spaces, probably okay. So if you want to read the data from the database, typically you are going to write 5 lines of code. Let us see whether we are going to get the records or not. Let's see. See, we got the records. If you look at, if you verify the database, so we have 3 records, and if you run the program, so you are seeing the 3 records from the database what I fetch. Okay, and we will look at the other options also. So fetch one, what it will return, fetch many. Suppose example, I'm going to change it to fetch one, right? If you look at this, the first record, the ID is 3, right? If you try to run this code, oh, sorry, there is a typo. So that is the reason it is better to use the intelligence window, okay? So that you are not going to end up with the typos. See, you are going to get a single record, right? So previously it is a list. I mean, the elements are wrapped inside the square braces. If you look at the result or observe, fetch all and see, all the records are embedded inside the square braces. Okay. So fetch one is basically a single record. It's going to be tuple. And now we will try to look at fetch many. So I'm going to pass 2 records. I would like to get top 2 records from the database. Then you can use this fetch many option. So run this. So you are going to see the first 2 records were returned by your cursor. So this is how you are going to get the records from the database, right? So, but if you look at the example, right, we are getting the records as a list. If you want to iterate or if you want to extract one record by one record, so there are a lot of cases you have to iterate over your result set for a lot of use cases. Suppose example, we have the employee records where employee got promoted, his role got changed, his salary got updated. At the year end, I would like to get all the employees and I would like to update their bonus component or something like that, right? And again, the bonus is also vary from employee to employee. In that case, you have to read each and every employee, apply some logic, and you have to update or insert the record again. So during that particular scenarios, it is a common quite use case where you have to iterate over your result set. So how you are going to iterate over the result set which is written by your cursor, especially when you are performing the select operation, then this is how you can look at. Okay, so you can use the for loop for res in result. I'm going to print res. Okay, first we'll try to print what exactly the res is going to print. Okay, so then followed by we'll see what is the other values. Okay, so and let's look at, see. So this is the first print statement. Because of this, we got two records. And if I want to iterate over this list, you can use the for loop followed by a print statement. See, this is how you are going to get the record. And if you want to get a specific value from the tuple, you can use the index values or index positions. Suppose example, employee ID is at the 0th position. This is one position, and this is second position. Suppose example, if I would like to get only the name, then in that case, I'm going to give. So now try to look at, see, you are going to get the name of the records. For example, I'm just to changing it to fetch all and try to run this example. You are going to see name of the employees. And these are the names, if you look at or if you verify from the DB. So these are the names which are there in the database. And we accessed, you can access the entire row as a tuple. If you want to access a particular element, you can use a position of the particular uh, variable. Suppose example, ID and name or the department or the age. You have to look at what is the index position. If you give the index, automatically the result will be returned by your for loop, right? So this is all about how you are going to read the records from the database, right? It is pretty easy and with very minimal lines. Typically, you have written only 4 to 5 lines. You can quickly get the data from your Postgres database. Okay, so we are going to cover the other operations, like how you are going to update and how you are going to delete the records from the database table, and then how you are going to integrate this example with the subsequent sessions. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned for more updated videos. Thank you.